I would introduce Mike Schultz, Director Nominee, member of RCAF, member of the Kansas Cattlemen's Association, and he's going to talk to you. And then after each of the presenters speaks, we will then open it up for question and answers, first from the media, and then we will open it up to questions and answers from the audience. Thank you very much. Mike Schultz.
Thank you very much for having me here today, Mike. Most everybody, a lot of the guys around here know me. We did start the Kansas Cattlemen's Association in '98 to basically represent small independent ranchers and producers. To you guys had a chance to compete in this industry. I think today everybody knows what's going on. We're not liking things that are happening from Washington, D.C., and I'm for smaller government, just like most everybody probably here. I'm involved as a city superintendent, too, from Brewster, Kansas, so I deal with water and wastewater issues all the time. So I'm on kind of a dual purpose here today. I will tell you that there are issues going on in my rural community that the EPA has not been addressing as well. And I don't know, we're all sitting here right now, and it's kind of cool right now, but this is probably one of the cleanest small feed yards that I've ever been around. And I've been around quite a few feed yards in my lifetime, but I'm going to tell you something. I can take you in Sherman County, in Thomas County, and a lot of other feed yards that are probably 4 times as bad for cleanliness. And when they're concerned about this place, and I look at the dynamics of what sets this place right here and how it feeds and how it drains and stuff and how it lays, I think Mike's done a really good job of maintaining his property. So I'm kind of with him to back off of some of the regulations on this deal. I understand from some of our counterparts, they say, well, he's not willing to file the paperwork and do all these things. And you hear a lot of things from other people. I'm going to tell you something. Those people come in and they start dictating to you issues that go on. And just like Bill said, they can drive you out of business. I'll guarantee you there's not one of you here. The EPA standard, and I was talking to some people coming up here recently in the nearest farm deal with EPA, if you store over 3,500 gallons of product, you're going to have to meet requirements with containment. Now, if you talk about fertilizer and fuel on most farms, I guarantee you're going to be building a containment project. And it's just going to extract wealth out of you. I'm not for that. I do agree with Bill about the bigger people have a bigger risk of pollution, contamination. Smaller is better. We can compete with anybody if given a fair chance. They want to hinder everybody here in the United States, but yet go over to China. Go over to those countries and see what goes on, people. It's not a laughing matter. Those people are so bad on sanitary and any issue that you want to bring up compared to the United States of America that it just makes me sick. And our leadership, and most of you probably already know I'm probably the most disgruntled Republican in the world because I really have disrespect for Senator Roberts and Moran. And they may be Republicans, but I'm going to tell you guys something. They've stabbed me in the back every step of the way on country of origin labeling and issues like that with GIPSA as well. And then you talk about EPA stuff, and nobody seems to have the kahunas like Callicrate who want to stand up and fight for your rights. And you guys need to come together, and I'm glad people showed up today to kind of help this deal. But we need to get some attention by the media and get these people accountable for their actions. It's not that he's trying to run a bad and a shoddy business here. I mean, the thing's clean. I've been around it several times. This hay deal is a concern. But we have to address what's going on at the national level, at the federal level, and get it back to the state level. Mike told me he was in compliance with KDHE regs. I deal with the KDHE on a weekly basis, and for the most part, those people are pretty good. We've had a time in our life running a municipal operation where those guys come in, the young guy, wanting to go for a promotion, and so they're looking for every little thing to come up. They're just trying to find something that they can get you written up for. You want to pay attention to what's going on. I don't think it's a habitual problem. A lot of these things can be worked out relatively easy. I've got other people that I know that feed cattle. One guy's not really that good of a steward of his property. Is freely discharging waste. Probably something not everybody can do, but he's doing it. And so, when they start stepping on toes, you want to be careful, because there's other people that are probably guilty. And so I would hope that you guys today would try to stand up, call your representatives, your senators, and make sure that somebody's going to be held accountable. You know, everybody's passing the buck on all these issues, and I'm not one of them. You know, don't come to me. Senator Roberts told me over in Goodland here just 2-3 weeks ago, Mike Callicrate and I went to visit with those guys about their policies and what's going on back there in D.C., and he said, Mike, you know, you're not, you know, very friendly to me on these things. And he goes, you know, you need to give me credit. And I said, you know, I'll tell you something. I'll give you credit when it's due. Because around me, you earn my respect. I don't give it away. And so you guys need to be the same way. So let's stand together on this deal. Let's make sure people understand that. And you drive around and take pictures of this feed yard. I'll guarantee you can go 30 miles away from here and you can find one hell of a mess. I've been to some of the big ones, and I know they have more money to do things, and they drive small guys out of business, and that's why we started these organizations, so that everybody had a fair chance. And I always remember one comment from a pretty big feeder told me one time. He said, Mike, when you get so big that as a small independent you can't compete, they ought to break them up. And you need to think about that. So I wish Mike the very best. We're here for him today to try to make sure that he can keep this feed yard going and the people that he employs and the businesses that he's got. I know he's been vocal, no different than me, but I admire a guy that stands up for what he believes in. So I want to thank you guys for coming.